Hi for today we're going to be learning how to subtract using the column strategy. The learning intention. We're going to be learning to subtract using the column strategy. To be successful, you need to write the greatest number on the top and the smallest number below. Line up the digits in the correct place value. Then you need to subtract the units column. That means take the bottom number away from the top number. Once you've done that, if the top digit is less than the digit you are going to subtract, you need to borrow from the column to the left. Make the left column one less, give 1 to the column on the right. And then you need to repeat that with all the columns. We can do subtraction by writing one number below the other and then subtract one column at a time. Make sure the biggest number is written on top. Numbers are borrowed only sometimes. Example number 1, 579 minus 335. Place the 5 in the hundreds column, the 7 in the tens column, the 9 in the units column. Minus, this is the symbol for subtraction or minus, which means the same thing, 355. 3 in the hundreds column, 3 in the tens column, and 5 in the units column. Now we're ready to subtract. 9 is bigger than 5, so we can just subtract the units column. 9 minus 5 is 4. Then we repeat with the tens column. Again, 7 is bigger than 3, so we can subtract that just very easily. 7 minus 3 is 4. Now we can move on to our hundreds place value, and again, the number on top is bigger than the number below, so we can just subtract those numbers. 5 minus 3 is 2, so our answer is 244. Example number 2, 792 minus 473. Once again, we need to place these digits in the correct place value. 700 in the hundreds, 9 in the tens, 2 in the units. Subtract 473, 4 in the hundreds column, 7 in the tens column, and 3 in the units column. Now we're ready to subtract. 2 minus 3. We have a little problem here because the number on top is smaller than the number below. So we need to borrow from the column next to it. In this case, it's the tens column. So we need to cross out the 9 and take 1 away from it, which leaves us with 8. And we need to place the 1 that we took away from the tens column into the units column. So now our number in the units column is actually 12. So 12 is bigger than 3, so now we can subtract these digits. 12 minus 3 is 9. Now we can move on to our tens column. 8 is bigger than 7, so we can subtract 8 from 7, which is 1. And then we move to our final column in this example, which is the hundreds. Once again, 7 is bigger than 4, so we can simply subtract 7 from 4, which equals 3. So 792 minus 473 is 319. Example number 3, 875 minus 677. Once again, we need to place these digits in the correct place value. 875 minus 677. Now we're ready to subtract. In the units column, we have 5 minus 7. We are unable to subtract 5 from 7 as 5 is smaller, so we need to borrow from our tens column. So we need to cross out the 7 and make it 1 less, which is 6, and the 1 that we took away from the tens column, we need to place into our units column. Now we have the number 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. Again, we have a problem in the tens column because 6 is smaller than 7, so we need to borrow from the hundreds column. We need to cross out the 8 and make it 1 less, which is 7, and then we need to give the 1 that we took away from the hundreds column to our tens column to make that number 6 change to 16. 16 minus 7 is 9. And finally, 7 minus 6 is 1. So our answer for 875 minus 677 is 198. Example number 4. 806 minus 458. We place our digits in line with each other in the correct place value. 806 minus 458. We have 6 in the units column minus 8. We can't do that because 6 is smaller than the number below it. So we need to borrow from the column next to us. In this case, there is no digits. There is a 0 in our tens column. So we can't borrow anything from our tens column. So what do we do then? What we need to do is we need to borrow from the hundreds column. So we take 1 away from the hundreds column. So we cross out the 8, make it 1 less, which is a 7. And we place the 1 that we took away from the 8 here in our tens column. Now we have here the number 10. Now we can borrow from our tens column. So we cross out the 10 and make it 1 less, which is a 9. The 1 that we took away from the tens column, we place in the units column. And we make the units number change from 6 to 16. Now the number in our units column is bigger than the number below it. So 16 minus 8 is 8. 9 is bigger than 5, so we can subtract that number. 9 minus 5 is 4. And again, 7 is bigger than 4, so we can simply subtract those numbers. 7 minus 4 is 3. 806 minus 458 is 348. And now for our final example. 2006 minus 369. Like previous examples, we need to place the digits in the correct place value. 2 in the thousands, 0 in the hundreds, 0 in the tens, and 6 in the units. Subtract 369, 3 in the hundreds column, 6 in the tens column, and 9 in the units column. Now we're ready to subtract. Like our previous example, we have a problem here because the 6 is smaller than the 9, so we need to borrow from the column next to us. Unfortunately, there is nothing here to borrow, so we need to move to the next column. Again, out of luck, there is nothing here to borrow, so we just keep moving on until we can find the next column where there is something that we can borrow. In this case, we can borrow from the thousands column. So we cross out the 2, we make it 1 less, which is a 1, and we give the 1 we took away to the hundreds column. That still hasn't helped me here because we still have nothing in the tens column, but now I can borrow from the hundreds column and give to the tens column. We cross out the 10, we make it 1 less, which is a 9, and the 1 we took from the hundreds we give to the tens place value. Now we can borrow from the tens place value. Again, we cross out the 10, we make it 1 less, which is a 9, and we give the 1 that we took away from there to our units column. The 6 therefore changes from 6 to 16. Now we can go ahead and subtract. 16 minus 9 is 7. 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 minus 3 is 6. And 1 subtract 0 is 1. So 2006 minus 369 is 1,637. Now to your activity. On the Canvas discussion board, write the steps to success for column subtraction. After you post your success criteria, you will be able to see your peers. Make comments by adding the steps that they may have left out. Happy subtracting!